They need to see you.
All right.
Oh, there we are.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are.
This was the greatest show we're going to do today.
I will tell you, in these mics, that you got to like talk into it.
Oh,
Okay. You got to lean in and
You got to talk into it.
yeah. I mean, I'd be honest to say that Rip probably is lean. Never mind.
I
Yeah.
was what? I'm half fluffed. I know.
The
But
only rule is we're trying to stay on YouTube. Besides that, everything's free game. So, hey, welcome to the show, man. Rip,
All right.
Big intro there. You got the mic. I don't have a mic, so you're.
oh, I
in charge.
use mine.
No, you're in charge now.
No, I get all shy and stuff, and I can. But this is Kevin Fertig, 7 Mordecai. How many other names? Tell me.
Mordecai, Kevin Thorne. I mean, I was formerly known as Max Cherry at one point. Ecstasy.
Sure.
I mean, you know how it goes. You try to come up with as many names as you can, and hopefully something sticks.
Well,
Here you are when I met you, right here.
Yeah, seven stuck, and then Kevin Thorne stuck, and Mordecai stuck. So that's all I got. So
And hold on, then we have this right here. Look at that.
yeah, me, Travis Bain, and Sin,
You guys were the disciples of sin.
disciples of sin.
Disciples.
Now,
of
were
sin.
you ever with Batista Leviathan in Disciples of Sin? Or was he in there originally, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was in there originally, and actually, when he got brought up for Deacon Batista or whatever else, it was a Six Flags Summer Series or whatever that was, and I got to powerbomb him and
really?
pin him, and off he went. So there you go.
Was that the end of him there?
Well,
Yeah, like OVW?
I think OVW. Yeah, that was it.
Oh wow, that's wild.
Yeah, I at least got that rub out of it.
Holy
So-
shit! You was rubbing a lot of stuff. I'm always rubbing the stuff at night. But
Oh,
Who
Lord.
was first? Was Mordecai or Kit? Mordecai was before.
Mordecai was first. Yeah.
All right, and then the most important thing, though, Rip, not any of that stuff, but the most important thing is right there.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah. Look at me there.
Businessman.
Yeah. Yeah.
look at
businessman.
this, the greatest realtor of all time.
Absolutely.
Got the email up there. I got the champ is home up there. I think I even saw you bring a belt in here.
Yep. I've got my Champions Home belt right
He's
here.
got his own belt.
Right.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
yeah. There we go.
Well, hold it up to the camera.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's hold it up to the camera anyway. Let's
Look at
go
that.
ahead and show that right there.
Where'd you get that at?
So I have that made.
Holy shit!
So,
So you sort of like Buddy Rogers when he was the U.S. champion. He had the belt, so I guess he was always the champion years ago.
well, so I'm not the champ. The champ are my buyers and sellers. So it's kind of their belt. I just get to hold it all the time.
So
'cause
you're like total gimmick and took the wrestling business into
into the real estate business.
and now you're the champion of the world.
Yeah,
It's sort of like champion emeritus in real estate.
exactly.
It don't get any better than that.
Not at all.
And you got time to still train, look jacked.
Trying.
It don't get any better than that.
Yeah, I think,
Staying looking like you're 28. That's awesome.
I'm trying.
I'm looking like I'm 102, but
Not-
I act
not-
like
not-
I'm 101.
Not
What
at
the
all.
fuck?
so answer this question here. Do you know who the guy is in the mask right there?
That would be me.
What was that gimmick?
That was. Who's the other guy behind there?
Matt Morgan.
That's got to be Matt Morgan.
Yeah.
So they wanted they wanted to do a it was like a I don't like a nuclear disaster gimmick or something with us too.
A
And-
nuclear disaster.
yeah it
Well, hell, that's new.
Yeah, so it was that was I forget what they were trying to call this but maybe Matt knows. I don't remember, but it was basically we were supposed to be something derived from some algae or whatever, and that's where we came from.
So it was a short run. Then.
Yeah, it was so short. It lasted about 6 weeks in OVW. That's how short that was.
But you was under contract for a long time. You had a
Yeah.
hell of a run.
Oh, I had
That's better than going knocking door to door or working at Circle K or Amazon or whatever. So you had a very successful career.
I definitely blessed on that one. And then blessed to wake up and see your smiling face at 9 o'clock in the morning, most days in Louisville.
Hey, we'll get to that in just a
Yeah.
second. But while I had to establish that was you under the hood before I showed this video.
Here we go.
Because that's me right there.
Oh yeah. All right. Here we go.
Ken Jones,
There's-
Bobby Lashley.
sir. Yeah.
You got the you got a really look at you choking me right there. That wasn't very nice. The hometown school teacher, Matt Capitelli in the house. Look at you doing that at my high school in front of all those kids. What the hell is that, dude?
I have no idea.
Look at that, Morgan. Here's why I wanted to establish this was you, because look what happens right now.
Oh,
Wait, here's what happens right now. Get the hell out of here! Look at that.
dude, that's the best bump I've taken over the top rope in a long time.
I thought I won, but look who was hiding under the ring the whole time.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You couldn't even go over in your hometown.
Well,
Who is the booker for this shit?
So that set up. That was the opening match. So that set up me and him in the main event. is
main
what-
event.
Al
Okay.
Snow was running it. And I
All
was
right,
like,
all right.
I'm always just against having battle royals first, because now they've seen every person. So
Yep.
now the entrances to me don't mean like who's next,
Yep.
next. We've seen everybody.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I just couldn't wait to see who the next people
person. Yeah.
was coming out.
Yep.
You have a battle royal. To me, it just kind of kills that whole.
Well, I mean that that was like I had the opportunity to watch Royal Rumble this weekend with my daughter, and it was cool as could be seeing them come out and who's going to be next and who's going to be next and who's going to be next. So that was, I mean, it definitely, to your point, it just makes it that much better.
But didn't they have a lot of guys you didn't go, who in the fuck's music is that?
There was a lot of that.
There was a lot of that.
Yeah.
You know what was weird is, and this isn't meant to be any kind of shot or anything like that, but it seemed like I have to go back through and look. It seemed like the majority of the participants in the Royal Rumble were not from United States. I would say more than not, it seemed like.
Well, it's a worldwide
I know.
It's a
Yeah.
worldwide
I just-
pay-per-view.
I think it's.
Yeah.
You think it's? I'd have to go back and look. Maybe somebody in the comments can verify that. I'm not saying it's good, bad, or indifferent. It just seemed to me like I noticed it, like
Yeah.
all the different countries represented, so to speak.
Well, I mean, but I mean, wrestling's worldwide.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've got to, I mean, I think you said this actually, Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors. I mean, we need 31 flavors.
Yeah, we don't need 31 guys doing the same shit.
Yeah. There's, we don't need 31 vanillas. We need,
Right.
we need chocolate Rocky Road, everything else. So that I guess, with that, that's, kind of maybe the reason why it was. And and I can agree with that. I mean, give them as much flavor as you can.
Now, if you're looking at bottom line, and we got so many wrestlers from Mexico, I guess this pay-per-view is worldwide, so
Yep.
they're going to buy if
Yep.
their guys are on it.
Oh,
So if
absolutely.
we got guys from Italy, if we got guys from England, if we got guys
Yeah.
from Germany or whatever. We want as many guys from everywhere in the world because this is a worldwide pay-per-view,
Yep.
and people want to pay to see. If I'm a young Irish boy,
Hey,
wanna
I want
see
my
this.
Irish guy
That's
winning.
right.
Yeah, that's
If
that's
I'm
what.
an
Yeah,
Italiano, I
Yeah,
want to remind
yeah.
this and that. So anyway, I'll get the fuck off here now.
Keep going.
So we want this to be a worldwide pay-per-view because all we're looking at it is bottom line.
Exactly.
If everybody's from Seymour, Indiana, well, we got 7 buys from Seymour, Indiana, and nobody else gives a rat's ass.
Yeah, that'd be
So-
great, though.
You see my hair, 7? I cut it all off.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, my illegitimate son, Dylan Bostic, he cut it all off.
Dylan's he's a good lad. He is a good lad.
Clayton says he's trying to be like his hero, Von Lilas here. I appreciate that, Clayton.
I am, but I just got to grow another. I got to grow.
You've
another-
actually got
No,
a lot. You've got Macho Man vibes right now with the beard and everything else.
I guess I should know him.
What else we got here? Let's see. So, all right, go ahead. Let's get into some OVW. So you came. You were in Tennessee,
He
right?
was in Memphis.
I was a Memphis boy.
Memphis.
Yeah, yep. Started on Power Pro Wrestling, and then
How'd you start in the business, Kevin?
stupidity.
Looking back.
Yeah, looking back, it's all
But
stupidity.
how old were you?
So I was 19,
Holy
turning into
shit.
20, working out. Got a job at a Gold's Gym, and then that's where Sid Vicious started working out. And he was working out in the mornings, and I was the morning manager.
Okay.
And literally, we just became workout partners
Yep.
and friends
Uh-huh.
because he his workout partner just kept missing. So and it was like, oh, just come work out with me. No one cares. Just come work out with me. Okay, so I went and started working out with him. I'm not scared at all. I'll get as close to Rip as he wants. I don't care.
You are a little old for me.
Well, it is what it is.
Bravo.
Hey, my boy. Jesus Christ.
All right.
So anyway, so no. So I mean, with that was it was Sid, and there was one day, hey, it was during the time of his broken neck or whatever happened, and basically it was, hey, I'm going to over to this ring today. You want to go and maybe learn how to be a wrestler? Of course. I mean, being a guy that grew up on USWA in Memphis, absolutely I do. We get there and it's in Buddy Wing's backyard.
Okay.
Aubrey, Buddy Wayne Peel, and
Okay.
and Aubrey Wayne.
Aubrey.
Yeah, was just who I got to beat up.
Uh-huh.
And it was let's see what this kid can do. And so we got there. They rolled out carpets. There's dead rats in all the carpet. It's in his backyard. This ring is set up. It's like radiator hose and razor wire basically is what I can equivalent this thing to. Every time I hit the ropes, I'm getting stuck with some sort of wire. And Aubrey is just doing cartwheels on this thing, and Sid's like, oh, you got to do this, and I learned headlock, lock up, and tackle, and then it was off to the races. I got booked here, and here, and I'm taking you with me. You're going to be my little protege, Kid Vicious, and so on. Oh, I didn't mention that one earlier. Kid Vicious. And he literally gave me because I was a size 13 and he gave me a pair of boots,
Okay.
a pair of knee pads, his K&S trunks, I guess, the black ones that everybody had. And I got a leather vest, and I was Kid Vicious, and I was just going along with it. So,
well, I've never heard that story. That's the first time I heard that. I didn't know that existed. So then, how'd you get discovered or signed or whatever? Was it working out with him or wrestling with him, or
so
who saw you
working out with him, being on Power Pro at the time a little bit and everything else? But then Memphis Championship Wrestling started because it's Memphis and they go back and forth like crazy.
Is this Randy Hales?
So Randy Hales, but then Terry Golden. So it was kind of back and forth. And at the time, Memphis Championship Wrestling with Terry Golden had the WWE developmental at the time, along with Louisville. So I was down there. Basically, I was a bartender and then wrestler on the weekend is basically how I was paying bills and everything else. Well, it was Pete Gas.
Pete Gas.
I'm trying to, Steve Bradley. I mean, there's a bunch that went through there. Kurt Angle, everything else that was kind of running through there. And, basically they had a really big show in, I want to say it was Arkansas State University in their, and I think Taz wrestled Jerry Lawler and everything else, but Percy Pringle, Paul Bearer was there. Paul Bearer was there, and he saw me and he goes, you were like, you could be the Undertaker's son, and he just started working with it. And then, Cornette got a hold of it too. Cause I was, as 7 with Power Pro. And basically they ended up helping me get my job. So, and getting into developmental. So
that's awesome, man. So yeah, people are, I only have a thing for 2 mics. My soundboard, whatever you want to call it, has 2 mics. I tried to mess around with getting a 3rd mic USB. It wasn't working. So we got 2. So just freaking deal with it. I'll do the best we can here.
Are we not hearing me, or we're not hearing what?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why you gotta get angry at him? Why you getting?
I
hot? Why you
like to
getting
heal
hot?
every once in a while. Sorry,
Well,
I've been a little.
hey guys, just keep paying attention to us. Don't worry about that guy. It is what it is. He gets angry. It's cool.
I got it.
He's
Rip,
a
Rip,
bully.
Rip,
Yeah, 100% bully.
Rip is such a baby face on this show. I've got to play the heel role every once in a while.
Which is so unlike Rip. That's
he's such yeah,
yeah.
he's such a baby face on here. He
My
won't.
old age, I'm just so mellow. I got no testosterone.
He,
I've actually got a guy for that now. I can help you out with that.
so tell us about OVW. Get to OVW. Tell us about meeting Rip. Your first times there. Him training you. Who's there? All the stuff. Just break down OVW for us as best you can.
Shit. Actually, first time I met Rip was they had a Louisville Garden show, and I came up and stuff, and he was in the back, and I always thought it was a good thing to go. Well, yes, Sid trained me. Sid says hi. Total work. Total. Sid never said fucking hi to anybody and everything else. And Rip actually was the first person that ever called me out on that. And he's like, you know what? I think I have a receipt in my wallet. And by the way, he pulled out this fucking Costanza wallet, which he has. Hold on. Let's. Yep. See, look at that. He basically pulls this out, goes through it, finds the receipt that he wired Sid money or whatever for some show that Sid never showed up on, and then blames me. And I went, God, that fucking totally went wrong. like, and that was like, oh shit, I think I just screwed myself, coming up here. I wasn't signed yet at that time. I was coming up with Derek from Memphis.
Oh, he was over. He was
your stepson. But I thought it would be hilarious, or not hilarious, but I thought that would help me out and like punch through by saying that. And Rip just calls me out on it. I'm like, oh, that never worked. And so I went back going home on the way home with Derek. I'm like, I think I just screwed myself. I'm never gonna get signed. And here we are. I still did, but it was a good story.
That's a great story. So what about training? OVW training? Who was with you? Rip's practices? Rip as a teacher? Any kind of stories like that?
Man, we had a crew. I mean, most of the guys are up there now and thriving and surviving and everything else, or out on the indies and everything else. Oh shit, I just kicked your mic, or kicked the
you're right.
Yep, there we go. But I mean, at that time, what were we? 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock,
whatever it was. I was driving.
Yeah, you were driving from
driving.
here. Which now that I live here and I realize how far you were driving every day and everything else, I'm like, holy shit!
I can tell you the
why?
time. It started from 10 to 12 is the way it started.
So it's 10 to 12.
And then there was like a day where, or like a week where he had something to do, and he's like, "All right, boys, we're gonna practice at 8 instead."
Yep. And then it
Well,
became
then-
8.
Became eight.
And then it just
But then it
became 8.
started ending at noon instead of ending at 10.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
They went from 2 hours to 4
Well,
hours.
but I mean, most of us were getting paid. I mean,
Right.
so I mean, that was our job. So why are we bitching about it? And
That's what I always wanted.
and when you get older and
Mm-hmm.
and everything else, I look back at all this, and I'm like, I always should apologize to you, because we always used to bitch, and we'd hate it, but
You were gonna
that was
bitch no
that.
matter-
Well,
that's
yeah,
in
we're
their
gonna bitch no
nature.
matter. But it was like literally like this was our job. I
Right.
mean, so and that's what we had to realize. I mean, but the
At 8 o'clock, I
at-
locked the door.
yeah, at 8 o'clock you locked the door, and it was totally, you didn't get in.
Then you had to.
And I had the front parking. I always got there probably the earliest, and I always parked in that front parking spot, and that was my spot, and it was like, all right, I'm here, so, but it was, at that time, nobody understands the shape that we were in.
Right.
And to your credit was, and you didn't beat us up.
No.
We did chain wrestling for an hour every day.
Heat on all those body parts.
Heat on
You're
and
in
everything
such
else.
Good wrestling
shape.
condition
Yeah.
without giving you a
Yeah.
bunch of bumps.
Bumps. Yeah. And nobody understood that. And, and you look at some of the training today, and I watch different promotions that, put their stuff out there on Facebook and Twitter and everything else. And I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, why are they doing all this when, I mean, none of them can even, lock up fucking correctly? Why are we not doing this or just chain wrestling and just, I mean, by the time that we were done during that
You
time,
guys were great.
I was covered
Yes.
in sweat, soaking up, having to change shirts and everything else. But we got the best workouts, and we were most fundamentally sound of all the crews that I think that have gone through there. And that was, to your credit. So,
And
I
how
appreciate that.
many guys did hours?
Oh, I did with Orlando Jordan, and I still have it on tape. And I go through that, and I shit, it's been probably 6 months. I watched that one time. I found a VCR, plugged it in, and
It
everything
made
else.
sense, didn't it?
It made sense, and you're yelling at me the
Am
whole
I-
time.
I gotta
No, but
inspire
that's coaching
Yeah.
and stuff. And then towards the end, I started getting gas. You're like, just fucking get through it. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like and it was,
Mental block.
yeah, it was, but when you got done, you're like, you just felt this arise that
Fucking great.
I did this, and that
Yes.
was cool.
It was
So-
great. Now you got more fucking confidence.
Yep.
And I said, when you guys get brought up to WWE, you're going to find out you guys fundamentally are better than them.
Yep.
You know how to work more. I don't give a shit about spots. I don't
Yep.
give a shot about, this is wrestling.
Yep.
This is wrestling. You get in, you get out, don't get hurt because you might have to work how many days in a row.
Yep.
And you got to learn to work with when you're hurt.
Yep.
So, but I got guys going over 2 hours.
Yep.
Called in the ring.
Yep.
20-minute promo. Okay, do a promo on that light. Go, boom, 20 minutes.
Yep.
They just do a goddamn promo. And it was just so much fun teaching. You guys were all great world class, what I call you great world class wrestlers.
Yep.
But I'm teaching you all the old shit that I had to fail on and learn all this shit.
Yep.
So I'm trying to give you some knowledge so that when you get brought up, if you'd have just brought up just knowing moves, you're out of your fucking league.
Yep.
You're so nervous.
Yep. And the problem with us is we thought we knew more, and then now looking back, it's like, God damn it, he was so right. It was like, I wish I would have known that, or I just wish I would have gone with that. We always thought we had to do bigger and better, and and fundamentals are the biggest key to this, and staying healthy and staying, making money. I mean, just like CM Punk, this past week, I mean, one move, now he's out of his WrestleMania moment. I mean, and it's trying to figure out how to stay healthy and keep that going.
But also, I mean, Rip says all the time, like, you got to practice to all the training. Like all these guys now don't really do that much. So now when they have to go do their one match a week, their body's not really used to it, and that's when they
Yeah.
They
You
start-
get callous to it.
Yeah.
And I never understood that until like now, like every now and then now
you-
I go wrestle.
then you're
Every
like,
now
holy
and then.
shit, how'd I do this every day?
And I'm like, oh, like 3 days later, I'm still hurting.
Yeah.
Where before I never hurt and I did twice as much.
Yep.
It's
So-
like we're saying, okay, now let's take an arm drag. You
Yep.
got your arm drag bump in. You're still comfortable with. Let's do a
Yep.
drop toe hold.
Yep.
Let's do a hip toss. Let's do one
And more-
slam.
Yep.
One. Now oversell the son of a bitch.
Yep.
But we gotta. That's like when Punky gets hurt. His body's not in that shape where you guys every day you're doing it. Every day you're doing it. Every day you're doing it. Plus you're working the spot shows and stuff.
Yep.
And now you're having enough brains to figure out, well, hell, I'm working a spot show, but I don't really want to do anything. But I'm just going to oversell, which makes the match, which is the way it's supposed to be.
Yep.
And you're actually learning to work.
No.
Hey, we got to get to this question that was
Okay.
posted
Oh,
before I forget.
hold on.
And we're talking about 7. I was going to ask you a question about the name 7 anyway. It said Dustin Rhodes was named 7 when he left the Gold Dust gimmick and went to Nitro in the late 90s. Asking if 7 in WCW was ever discussed to Kevin when OVW presented Kevin with the gimmick. Did they present to you, or did you already have the name 7?
I already had the name 7 because it was all based off 7 deadly sins
what I figured.
and everything else. When I saw Dustin do that, I was like, oh, fuck.
So yeah,
yeah. And I was like, all right, well, I put a lot of time and effort into this. And that's how I got on Power Pro. Was I went to Cornette and I go, you have sin. I want to be 7 and I want to be the 7 deadly sins, and then, go after gluttony. And then, if you ever look at the old Power Pro tapes and everything else, I mean, it was, Jimmy, being as smart as Jimmy is, literally we did, gluttony. I mean, we did every sin leading up to me finally coming out with her. And I mean, that was the coolest thing ever. I mean, granted, I knew nothing at that time. I shouldn't even been on TV, but he gave me that opportunity, and that's, definitely what helped get 7 over, and then, got me to where I was.
Sin, who is in his picture, is actually Cornette's wife now. So
yep.
There they are right there. Sin, who he's talking about. And what was his Travis Bain at this time, wasn't
Travis Bain.
Travis Bain at this time?
Well, no, he was.
He was the Tomko?
No.
Travis Tomko. He was Tyson Tomko later.
Tomko.
That was later in TNA, I think. But anyway, do you remember? I was telling this story a few weeks ago with Rip. Do you remember at one of the spot shows somewhere we had a big battle royal? Do you remember Joe Dirt? Do you guys remember setting up Joe Dirt to win that battle royal at all? Rip wasn't in on it. It was you and Tomko. You don't remember that? And then you pinned him up against the wall in the locker room. You remember Joe Dirt? He looked like Joe Dirt.
No,
oh my God! I can't believe you don't remember that.
So we were messing with him, right?
So you and Tomko set it up. You're like, all right, listen, guys. Here we're gonna go over the finish and all that, but this is not what we're gonna do. We're all going out, eliminate each other. We're gonna make him win. Yep. And then we're gonna yell at him when he gets back. Why are you going into business for yourself? He was not a contract guy, real little skinny guy. He was in Nick's class.
Yeah.
He comes up from something, and he's the only one left in the ring. They raise his hand, and he comes back to the back. You just slam the door. You're like, all right, everybody get around here.
Yeah.
And then Tom goes right there with you, just huffing and puffing at him, and you literally had him pinned up against the wall, yelling at him, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" And then all of a sudden, everybody just started laughing and clapping. And you don't remember that? How do you not remember that? That was so awesome, man.
Because I've gotten hit in the head way too many times and everything else. I sort of remember that, but it's one of those things. But that was the best part about all those shows and stuff is, I mean, we just went out and had fun. There was one time I was trying to remember things coming in here to talk. Was Chris, the first time I ever got praise from Rip Rogers, which I'm not gonna lie, when Danny and Jim and everybody are like, "Yeah, at that house show this weekend, Rip actually praised you." I was on cloud 9, right? So, but it was me and Chris Cage, and it was in North Vernon. It was in this little
the old Vernon
gym. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you remember? So it was, we were doing something beforehand and trying to work out our match, and Rip just loses his shit on me. Right. And motherfucker, all this stuff, like, you guys need to learn to call it in the ring and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, all right, well then screw this. We won't do any of this stuff we did. And I'm going to work a headlock the entire match. And I literally worked the headlock I thought I was ribbing him, which is never going to happen. But at that time of your life, you think, oh yeah, I'm going to get this old motherfucker back. Like, fuck him, and literally I do that, come through the curtain and everything else. He's like, that's the greatest fucking match. Like, and I was like, I only worked that. Like, he goes, but you worked like till the end, and then he just schoolboyed me, and that was it. Like, but literally, I would not let go of the headlock, and that was 10 minutes of the match. He goes, you bored him, you got him high, and then all of a sudden they just, I mean, did you hear them at the end? And you're like, oh shit, I actually fucking think I actually did something I didn't even mean to.
The question is, were you just ribbing him?
No.
I was ripping you, putting you over.
No, but he was serious because he went to everybody, like Danny and Cornette and everybody else. Is like, we heard you had this amazing match this weekend and it was the best thing. And I was like, yeah, I guess it was. So
I was there, so I know why he was. The reason he was so mad at Vernon is because there were people in line,
looking,
and there were windows.
Well,
there were windows in that gym,
we didn't
and
know
everybody
any
was
better.
in the ring.
Yeah, we're all
so
idiots.
Rip gets there after we're already there with the ring set up,
and
he sees what they're seeing, and he just, because I remember Renee and Lance Cade were in there.
Oh yeah,
Because I actually wrestled them that night.
Yeah.
And then luckily I hadn't like gotten in there yet. I was like, oh yeah, man. Hold on. These guys are all under contract. I don't know what they were doing in the ring.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
But,
wild.
hey, remember we would have spot shows, and then I would put a list up,
Yep.
You gotta get right in there, Rip.
and then it'd be these are just names. It'd be like Brock against Randy Orton. So they go through all their prearranged bullshit, right?
Yep.
So then I'd say, okay, first match, Randy go on out first. Then I'd send a different opponent out.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
no, I'm gonna make you get good, and first you're gonna be mad,
Oh
but then you're gonna say, well, I made it through it.
yep.
I understand. And now you're going to like, or I'd say now switch roles.
Yep.
And then I'm trying to get you good so that when you get on the big stage, you're not going to be fucking nervous.
Oh, yeah,
You're going to
ever.
be so
Yeah.
so
Just relax.
so
Yeah. Overqualified.
for
Yep.
this job. It's all a rib. And the
Yep.
fucking stars, they can't fucking do this shit. And you're just fucking laughing at them.
Yep.
And because when you were there at OVW, and how many times I tell you, this is going to be the greatest time of your motherfucking life.
Yep.
You're going to book back. Now you're the world's greatest real estate guy.
Yeah.
But now you're sitting back, reliving all these moments, thinking these guys we bonded with,
Oh yeah.
thinking how it's not that I was fucking with you. I was
Yeah.
trying to teach you
Teach.
to be on
Yep.
to be on time.
Yep.
Leave earlier.
Yep.
Here I was coming fucking 2 hours and 40 minutes if it was perfect, right? To get there,
Yep.
and if you're 1 minute late, I lock the door.
Yep.
Well, get there earlier.
Yep.
Don't jack off as much,
Yep.
or whatever,
Yeah,
whatever,
learn-
whatever you're doing.
Learn to
I'm
manage
trying to
time.
help you so that when you're there, it's all a rib to you.
Yep.
Now, here's a story with Sid. You remember this? The story when I don't know. We was in WCW, and Sid was to enhancement town. He was very intimidating.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
To me, I know
Yeah.
he's ribbing and
Yeah.
working.
Yeah.
So he did something. So I acted like I shit in my hand. And I had one of them chocolate protein bars. So I took it, looked at it, sniffed it, and went, oh, like that. And I took a bite of it and started fucking chewing it. Sid run out. Mr. Barnett, he's fucking crazy. He's fucking crazy.
And as big as Sid was,
Oh,
he was
yeah.
worried about that.
And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
a goddamn giant, so fucking big, so fucking jacked that I'm just fucking ribbing him. That was funnier than shit.
And pardon the pun. It was funnier than
Oh.
shit.
Oh, well, we shouldn't be talking about.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be talking.
Yeah,
about
we got
shit.
YouTube. We got YouTube
Yeah,
channel
we-
here.
we can't be talking about that right now.
Hey, I was actually in a match with you once when Rip wouldn't let us put us both in opposite locker rooms.
Oh yeah.
So it was somewhere in Indianapolis. It was me and Mike Taylor against you and Tomko.
Yep.
And we had to do separate locker rooms so we couldn't
Oh, yeah.
talk.
Yep.
Well, I had missed practice that morning. I was in Nick's class at the time.
Yep.
And my brother came in from Houston. I went to Broad Ripple. My plan was to go out for a couple beers, then
Yeah, that
then
never
drive to
happens.
Louisville,
That never
do
happens.
Nick's class, and then come back for the show. Never did. So then Rip's like, you know, how Rip would get everybody together before, or he would sit there and then call each person over, like, all right, here's your match, here's the finish, whatever. So he pulls me and Mike Taylor over, and he's like, you got 7 and Bane tonight. I was like, okay. I was like, he knows I didn't go to practice. I'm getting ready to get my ass kicked. He knows I didn't go to practice today. Nick stooged me off and told him I didn't go to practice. But then I guess he didn't, because then after the show, he goes, you didn't go to practice today? And I said, no. He said, if I would have known that, you would have never had a match.
Yeah.
So he wasn't getting me beat up on purpose.
Well, we didn't beat you. I think we had a blast that match,
Yeah,
if
you
I
did.
remember. Yeah.
you didn't.
Me and Tomko always intimidated the fuck out of everybody.
Sure.
But we you know, really were ribbing a lot of people because we were just having fun. Like we would totally like, you know, not talk to everybody, do everything, and then we just go out there and have, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, they're, you know, this is the greatest thing ever. I mean, you put us in there with Capitelli and
Nitro.
Johnny Nitro
Nitro.
when they first got to Indianapolis in the it was
Right off the interstate.
right off the
Ramada
interstate,
Inn.
but it wasn't the Ramada Inn though. It was a high school gym there.
Okay.
Because we were behind the curtain. It was their first time in, and you just went, go have fun, don't beat them up too bad, but go have fun. And it was like, all right, here we go. You know, and I mean, we had a blast with those guys. I mean, bunch of times.
Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
one time you guys were like had a football out or something.
Oh no, yeah.
Rip wasn't there then.
Yeah. Rip wasn't at that one. He might have killed us for that one. But we literally played football with them and got it over. Like we went to the back of the arena and had a football match, lost, then get back in the ring and then start the heat because we lost the football match. But it was, I mean, yeah, but that's what wrestling is. I mean, you know, it's just entertain, and that's all that matters.
So back to OVW. Did you ever get the? I ask everybody this that Rip trained. Did you ever get the ding? Get the fuck out. Did you ever get kicked out of the ring by Rip during like practice matches?
How many times? I don't have enough fingers for that shit. I got dinged a bunch of times. That still haunts me. Actually, that's why I can't sleep till past 4 because I wake up at 4 o'clock and I hear ding ding. Get the fuck out! Like yeah. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is a lot of times you was doing stupid shit,
Well,
and then and I said, no, that's stupid shit.
Yep.
And eventually you'll figure it out.
Yep.
Or I'm going to fuck with you just to do it because
Yep.
you're having too good of a day.
Yep.
Because it's best to be on some kind of edge.
Oh no, 100%.
You need to be
Yeah.
focused on what you
Yeah.
do and serious about all this
Yeah.
shit. So then when you have house shows and you're in the big time, you can totally relax, you're totally confident, and you know you got this
Yep.
shit.
Well, and you know, we knew, you know, and you know, as much as we didn't give you credit for it, but we should have, is we knew that if you actually told us that was really good, it was really good. You know, and you told us when it sucked, and you know, everybody else would sugarcoat shit. And that's, you know, the one thing to your credit is there was never any sugarcoating. you knew if you sucked and you knew if you were good. Like, you know, and that was kind of the, you know, the best part about it, you know, and that's, you know, it instills in me, you know, even to this day is, you know, how I, you know, talk to my son, you know, talk to my daughter, you know, in sports and stuff is, you do good. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to praise you. But if it sucks and you're lacking and everything else, you need to know. I mean, and that's how you get better. And I mean, and that's why we got better, you know, during that time.
Look at this. If it's the real person, Rico Constantino in the house saying hello
Holy
to
crap.
you. All the top stars here wrestling with Rip Rogers, man.
Oh,
Rico was just on the show a couple weeks ago. What's up,
Rico's
Rico?
amazing. He was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, were you guys there together in OVW at all, or just
Yeah,
WWE?
for a little bit,
Were you?
and in WWE. I mean, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, no better guy in the face of this earth than him. So,
yeah, he was great. So he was with Billy and Chuck, obviously. You and Billy, you guys still buddies? You guys used to be pretty tight, right?
yeah, I talk to Billy about once every couple weeks and stuff like that. I mean, he's, you know,
he still looks all right, right?
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
he looks better than he, you know, he looks better and better. I mean, he's one of those guys that's just timeless, you know, but then, you know, his two boys are doing phenomenal things too and learning the right way because, you know, a lot like we've been talking about with Rip, Billy will yell at them and dog cuss them, you know, just to let them know. I mean, you know, if he doesn't like it and everything else, I mean, he doesn't sugarcoat it and tells them, hey, this is what you should have done better and everything else. And it just makes them that much better. I mean, they're so young. They're going to be just insane, you know, in the next couple of years.
Yep, I agree. So Greg Smith in the house. What's up, Greg? Yeah, Rico. Looks like it is actually Rico. So that's pretty cool. There was another question here somewhere. I can't remember where it was that I wanted to hit on, but now I can't remember. I do know some people were asking where you sell houses at, man. So in case anybody's here local, let's go ahead and give that one more plug here.
Yeah, Indiana, Indianapolis. I mean, pretty much anywhere in central Indiana. Actually, Jason Frost down at OVW. Actually, he's probably listening right now.
Nice.
He's
Shout
on
out to Jason Frost,
Jason
man.
Frost. He's on his way up to Youngstown. I just listed his house yesterday. We've got a ton of showings on it and everything else. Actually, my phone's been blowing up during this time and stuff. And yeah. I've got all kind of clients here and there. And love wrestling fans as clients, love everybody's clients, but it's fun when you get to go tell stories as you're going to show houses. It's always that much more fun,
Right, so Indianapolis, Indiana, around that area, folks. If you got anybody around here, I put up the information a couple different times. So then we also have somebody said that their brother, we got a loyal listener here, Stephen Keys, just bought a t-shirt from Rip the other day. So that's cool. His brother Scott Keys, or Keyes, never know if I'm saying it right. I mean, I don't know if you remember this all. Dreamwave, LaSalle, Illinois, 2010. You wrestled this guy's brother, so I wanted to put that over since he's always a big fan of the show here. So I wanted to ask you something about you and Shelly here.
Oh Lord,
How did you guys get together as a duo? Was that something you two worked out? Did somebody put you together?
No, they put us together. As soon as they launched ECW. Sci-fi needed certain things, and they wanted like vampires, sci-fi, horror, a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
That
and,
was horror, right?
Yeah, horror. So and stuff like that. So that was kind of and she was just supposed to be a tarot card reader and whatever, and it kind of worked hand in hand. And I mean, looking back, I mean, it was awesome. Shelly went above and beyond, and I mean, made me look that much better. And that was the best part about her. And stuff. Towards the end, I think there was some political shit, and I don't know all the story of that, so I won't get into it. But I mean, to me, I should have left my side, and we could have done so much more, but they were always scared of it because it was like, oh, they're starting to get over this good without us. Like, oh, we gotta. It's typical WWE shit where, if they just would have let us go out there and really run it the way we were doing it, we would have. It would have got that much better. But it was always, oh well, they're doing this. We shouldn't. When she was jumping up in my arms and everything else, and I was hanging her over like a bat and everything else. It was getting over, and then all of a sudden it was like, well, you guys can't do that anymore. It's PG. I'm like, we're on Sci-Fi Channel. It's a bunch of a bunch of wrestling fans that like TNA and everything else. Why would you not let us do that? But it was just the way it was. So you had to deal with it. It was like, oh yeah, like buddy hug, sometimes instead of us, doing, the whole jumping up in each other's arms and stuff like that.
I mean, you guys got pretty sexual on there.
Sorry?
Yeah. I mean, it turned me on a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, you had to kind of like that, right? I mean, come on.
What, me and Shelly, dude, we were like brother and sister. She hated my guts, I hated her guts.
Oh.
It was only on camera, and it was literally, yeah, fine, fuck you. As soon as we walked
you didn't really not like each other, did you?
No, we hated each other for a while. We just didn't get along.
Did you end up getting along?
No, 100% towards the end.
You did get along.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Absolutely. But it was, we were two separate entities that didn't think we needed each other. And then really realized towards the end, God damn it, we do need each other, Because
I remember you did that show at the bar you were running up here, and she came in for that show. So I was like, surely you guys were cool after.
No, I mean, I love her to death. I mean, I talk to her here and there, and she definitely made it that much better. I mean, and she went to town. I mean, on it and made us look that much better. So, yeah.
So what was the ultimate demise on the Kevin Thorne run then? Was there anything you can want to talk about? Is it just the end? I can't remember.
On Kevin Thorne? Nothing.
Just got released one day?
Yeah. They just was what it was.
Yeah.
They came to me and go, we need you to cut your hair. You need to do this. You need to do that. And you look too much like the Undertaker. And I went, oh, okay. So I went and got a singlet and cut my hair. And then they went, well, yeah, that doesn't work either. And I'm like, this is what you guys wanted. Like, so it was what it was. Now, like with Mordecai, I got in a fight in the bar, and that just totally fucked me. So that was kind of the reasoning on that one.
I'm not sure I even remember that. So that happened for the Mordecai gimmick. Was that? I'm trying to think. Was that before, or was that the reason? Like you and the Undertaker didn't have your thing. That was the reason, or you had already had that, and then
no. That was
okay.
that was the reason. I was on track to wrestle the Undertaker in WrestleMania as Mordecai. It was going to be white versus black and everything else, and I mean, promos underneath Taker's wing. It was the greatest thing ever. And my dumbass in a bar in Louisville decides, someone was about to hit me and my wife with a bottle. I intervened, I guess you could say, and probably a little bit more force than should have happened because I've got a kickball size head, and yeah, and I just screwed the pooch. So
did you get arrested, or how did they know?
No,
how did they know? How did they find out?
Civil suit. Well, I mean,
there was a suit.
I'm a stark white guy, and I had white hair, white everything.
I mean, I didn't know how WWE.
It was pretty easy to find out. And then they went and basically I was in Houston getting ready to debut on some stuff. And my wife calls, she goes, the detectives are here. You're getting arrested. What do you want to do? And I go, fuck. And so I literally walked into Vince's office and I go, man, I fucked up, dude. And went ahead and told everybody the story, and yeah, it was what it was.
So that was it.
They let me keep going. I mean, there was a bunch of vignettes and everything else, but then it started getting really thick on lawsuit and everything else, and it was just time to go away. And it was a lot of guys, I guess, during that time was a lot of older guys and stuff that thought I was getting too big of a push too soon, and that were also trying to hurt me in the background, I guess you could say. He's not wrestling to Taker's level, and he's not doing this. And I think it just made it easier to go, yeah, it's the lawsuit, you got to go, than anything else. So that's kind of how I went wayside.
So somebody said earlier Rip was incognito. You should have went incognito that night at the bar without the white hair and the white eyebrows.
To have it to do all over again, I wouldn't have been in that bar. The messed up part is we wrestled in Scottsburg. Yeah, Scottsburg. And then it was it was either Maven's birthday or Sly's birthday, and they wanted to go out. And my wife and our roommate and everything else were like, oh yeah, let's all go out. So we all went out, and these guys just kept fucking with us because you got Sly and Maven who are pulling every fucking chick in the bar, and they were getting mad about it. And I literally told my wife, and I wasn't literally had no alcohol. Like, this is, nowadays I've been like, yeah, you know what? I probably messed up because I was drinking. Back then, wasn't drinking at all. It literally told my wife, I was like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. When I come back, we're leaving because these guys are about to want to fight. And as soon as I got back, she's in tears. The kid I ended up headbutting, basically told her, fuck you cunt, when all this other stuff. And he basically, sorry. And he had a bottle down to his side, and he was going to hit me with it because she was like, oh, he's going to come back and beat your ass for this. And so he was already prepared. And I walk up, and she's like in tears, and I'm like, what happened? And she kind of told me, and I look, and he starts walking towards me. I'm like, oh, no. And I just went, man. And that was all. I mean, with the kickball size head, that's all that happened. It was one and done. And literally I walked out and told the police outside of Bar Louisville, this is what happened. And they told me to go home. And I went, okay. And then, on Monday was the detectives at the house. And that's when I had to go tell everybody at the office that I've been fucked, that I totally screwed up.
It's always the guy running his mouth the whole time. Then you take him up on it, and then he wants to tell on you.
Yeah.
That's
the way it
typical.
way it works.
Typical. Yeah, that's those vignettes you did with Mordecai, man. Those
We're
things,
insane.
God,
All
those
of it
were
was
so
insane.
good. The voice, like a lot of them weren't you just talking on there. It was the voice. You could hear the voice, and then your motion.
Hear me, fear me.
It was good.
Hear me, fear me.
I love that stuff. So it is. What was it like walking around on an everyday basis with that hair and eyebrows?
Oh, it's terrible. Terrible. I look like Colonel Sanders on steroids is what I look like. And actually that was Jericho was the one that deemed me Colonel Sanders on steroids.
Oh,
And
really?
it would just mess with me because somehow I got in my head that I should always wear white to all TV tapings, all house shows and everything else. I went and bought probably $6,000 to $7,000 worth of white clothes. I mean, all my gym attire was white. All my dress clothes were white. Everything that I had was white. And that's literally when I went on the road, that's all I wore. It was a pain in the ass to keep clean. I'm not going to lie.
Wow.
So
That's wild, dude. That was how did it come back? Who's that? Shelly Martinez in here, it looks like. Hey, Shelly, what's up?
Says hide.
hi. Are you hiding?
Hide.
Oh, I had done the deal right there. She is. Maybe she heard you say you hated her. Maybe.
No, I never hated her.
I'm telling you, man, all the top stars here at Wrestling with Rip Rogers. I mean, what do you think about that, Rip? We got Rico in here. We got 7 in person. We got Shelly Martinez in the chat.
Well, it don't get any better than that.
Man.
You know, we're just sitting here being this hobnobbing, being on the #1 podcast in all professional wrestling today, or at least the one that's happening right now. So we got 7 on here. We got well, I had 22 names. But that's the norm. And you got to remember, when you started getting the vignettes and everything, anybody that's a star, everybody loved you till you
start making it
doing better than them.
Yep, that's absolutely.
And that's such as life.
Yep.
And the office should be saying, no, we want you to work this style. They should have enough brains to do that. We
Mhm.
want you to work at like 70%. It's not your job to draw. It's your job to entertain. Just get the character over. Do this with you. The girl at your side. This is what we want. We don't want you steal the thunder for what's going to happen later on, but this is your role to play.
Yep.
If you learn this role of how to do it, then we will move you up to the next thing, and you can learn how to work the next stuff. You're no longer first, second, or third match. Now you're going to be on after the break.
Yep.
Now you're going, and you might make semi-main event, and you're going to have a nice long run, and then we'll turn you, and then maybe give you another character, then
Yep.
have you leave for a while or get hurt or whatever.
Get
for
hurt.
some,
Yeah.
for some reason. And but we intend to have a long relationship with you because you're one of the chosen few that we chose you.
Yep.
And we chose you. And when you're in your 20s, we're all stupid in our 20s,
Oh,
and we all have an ego,
absolutely.
and we need to stay out of bars.
Mhm.
But hell, I could get messed up and for just drinking once every decade, 20 years or whatever, and I just screw up.
I was expecting some Rip Rogers beer today, by the way, and it didn't. The Seymour.
Well, you got to
beer,
go
but,
to.
yeah.
I got to go to Seymour, but I don't ever go to Seymour. So, when your parents die, and that's where you grew up
Yeah.
at, then it's sort of sad to go there.
Go there. Yeah.
You start thinking about that.
Yeah.
But shit, next time we have on here, we'll try and get some Hustler beer. That'll be all
I
right.
like it.
Vaughn Lies, he keeps trying to grab some. Bitch wants
Yeah.
to call.
I'd like to say something every once in a while. Hey, next week we celebrate 2 years, so we may just get Rip drunk in here next week, and then also we are almost. I plugged
We
this
should fly.
earlier.
We should fly Shelly in. I'll come in and everything else, and then yeah.
Could fly Shelly in. That would be all the top stars are already here. Where's our plug for the 10,000, Rip? Do you see it on there? I mean, we need a new producer on this damn show.
Well, you can't do everything.
Well, I try. Talk. Talk.
Well, we only got a couple.
Oh, there it is. So look, next week we're celebrating. There's our very first episode, man, right there.
Oh,
Me and
wow.
Rip right over there with the green screen deal.
Look at that clean shaven. I
That's
mean,
the first episode we ever did.
that was that was corporate rip.
We're on the road to 10,000. Whenever Rip get to 10,000 subscribers, there's our number now. We're dyeing Rip's beard right here in the studio.
Oh,
It's gonna be the greatest thing ever.
If they'd have tagged you and Boris Zirkov up as like the real headbangers, you know, that big, them huge craniums, you guys.
oh
do that.
God.
Just that you'd be breaking gimmick bricks on thing of just.
I mean, I
headbutts and
think at
everything.
that time I probably
Jesus.
would have broke a real brick just because. So
Well, I don't think you'd remember anything.
No,
now. You'd be so messed up, but you'd had a hell of a
Yeah,
time.
had a hell of a
You'd had
time.
a hell of a time in your
hell of a
20s.
gimmick.
Boy, what a good. I think I had what a great decade I
What-
have. I can't
what
remember.
were-
nothing,
what were we
but
talking
what
about
the
again?
fuck, right?
We're talking about again.
Rico agrees with you, Rip.
Okay, yeah, that's like it's just human nature.
Yep.
It's just like when the nerd all of a sudden he grows 6 inches in the 9th grade, and all of a sudden he's jacked, and all the girls that wouldn't look at him now, all the other guys are saying, well, they don't like that guy now because he's getting. Everybody wants everything, and such is life. As soon as you
Oh.
start doing as good as everybody else, all of a sudden, or before they loved you. But then you were the butt of your jokes and you were the low man on the totem pole. But now that you're starting to get over, you're starting to get jack. All the women are looking at you. They're tired of the other guys act. And then now they hate you, and you didn't do nothing but evolve. All you did was grow up
Yep.
and went through the survival of the fittest, and you're making it now, but everybody's mad at you. Because
Absolutely.
you might be taking their spot or you might surpass them.
Mhm.
You're not laughing at them. You're just happy that they had a career. You're happy that you had a career. You're just wanting to. What's that right there? Is that Stellar?
No.
I said, get ready, get ready, get ready. I got the dots on. I got the
Big
elbow
gold
ready,
and a
baby.
billfold.
We're gonna see
So
it. Let's
swole
do
that I
it
can't get
right,
this shit
right
closed.
now.